Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the Inside Spurs channel. Hope you've enjoyed your Friday, whatever it is that you've done today. I hope you have enjoyed it, and if you're off work for the weekend, enjoy it. We've got a big game tomorrow. In this video, we've got a lot to talk about. We're going to be talking about the Pierre Højbjerg situation with a new club showing face that they might have some interest in him. I'll be interested to see what you guys think of this. We'll also be doing the match preview of the Liverpool game in this video for tomorrow, as well as looking at a trio of Dutch players, or Dutch league players, should I say, that Spurs are interested in. And yeah, we'll be doing them in that order. So if you're only here for transfers, you're going to have to sit through the whole preview as well. I'm really sorry. Oh, what a shame. Anyway, let's talk about the situation around Pierre Emile Højbjerg. So we talked in a previous video about how Roma are really interested in him. You know, he has a very good relationship with Jose Mourinho. Also told you around Juventus wanting to look at Højbjerg in January, keen to sign him with either, a loan with an option to buy, okay? Well, we have a new team that's added themselves into the list of people in for Højbjerg, supposedly. Obviously, very much, you never really know until the big dogs all come out and speak, but these are all quite high, decent tier sources. And this, I think, is going to be really interesting because the fact that Højbjerg does have multiple quite big clubs in for him, it's only good for Spurs. It is only good for Spurs. And actually, we have a really good relationship with one being Juventus. We'll have a decent enough relationship with Roma because of Mourinho. I'm not saying Mourinho is the most loved person in Spurs' world, but, contacts-wise, it is there, as well as obviously we've dealt with them before through Eric Lamela. There you go, some ball knowledge if you'd forgotten about Big Eric. But also, we have a relationship with Manchester United with Sergio Reguilon as well. But so this has come out from the Corriere dello Sport, and it says that Man United really like Pierre Emile Højbjerg and are also keeping tabs on him. This is all ahead of a January move. So look, January, I think we can all kind of expect Pierre to be moving on his way. The fact that we've got two, I'd probably call them Italian giants. I'd probably say that's quite a fair diagnosis. I mean, don't look at how Roma are doing this season. Not good. And Jose's kind of thrown out a few punches as well. So definitely a precarious situation over in Rome. But two European giants and obviously an English giant in Manchester United. So all these clubs that would definitely tickle Pierre's fancy, I'd say. And that being the case, I think, we're going to get a good move. I think one thing is for sure. I think one of them might go, we'll give you a loan with an obligation. You might not get the sale that you want this month, but I think one of them will go, we'll give you a loan with an obligation to buy. Sure, why not? And that suits us down to the ground. I think we'd prefer a sale, but if it comes to it that we can get a loan with an obligation, then we're going to take it. That's the way I look at it. It's not the best situation, but it could be worse. That's the way I'm going to sort of put it out to you guys. And I know you guys might be sitting there going, no, we should expect sale, Sometimes things don't happen the way you want it to happen. But if you can get plan B instead of plan C, then get plan B, because that's what you want more than a C, So yeah, just a little bit on Pierre Højbjerg. Let's talk really around the game tomorrow. I'm really excited for the game tomorrow. Liverpool, 5:30 on the TV. We've obviously notoriously had a difficult run with Liverpool. Very good team. Even when things aren't going so well, they can always spring a surprise on you. Look, they've got some world-class players in that team. And as much as maybe some of those world-class players aren't as good as they were a few years ago, they're still very good players. I think you've got one of the world's best keepers in goal for themselves. You've still got two of the best. I mean, you might have one of the best fullback pairings. I'm not saying individually, but pairings. They're up there in Robbo and Trent. Van Dijk still has his days where he's an absolute monster. Maybe it's not as often as it used to be, but he's still a very good defender. I think their midfielders definitely kind of hit the ground running. Szoboszlai has been an absolute revelation for them, but a fantastic player, Szoboszlai. And obviously, he's still got loads of attacking options in Gakpo, which I really rate Gakpo. Very versatile player. You've still got, obviously, the big man, Mohamed Salah. But I still think, you've still got Jota, but I still think there's a player in Darwin Núñez. I really, really do. I've always really liked the way he plays. And it just, once the floodgates get just crept open a little bit, I think the goals will flow. But let's talk a little bit around the injury update around around Liverpool. So this is from Jurgen Klopp's press conference today, and he said that Trent trained yesterday normally. He'll train today normally. We have to make a decision. It looks like he'll be in the squad and play. He does also say that Thiago Alcantara is out. So, you know, one definitely in, one definitely out. I think you'll probably find they've not really got that many injury issues as such. I think, you know, look, if I had to predict the team off by heart, you'd have Alisson in goal, Robbo at left back, you'd have probably Van Dijk at left centre back, Matip and Konate at right centre back, Trent at right back, Alexis McAllister, Gravenberch, Endo maybe in the midfield, maybe. And then your front three would probably be somehow Gakpo, Jota and Salah. That's my kind of guess of their team. But Jurgen also talked about Spurs, and on Spurs he said, Spurs is a tough test. We've not played an easy away game yet. We've played away at Newcastle and Chelsea, which are really tough. Always have been tough. Spurs are doing very well. Ange seems a top bloke. Looking forward to meeting him. I think he's talking about Spurs in terms of the fans. I think they're all desperate for offensive football, and he's doing it. Fair enough. Nice complimentary words from Jurgen. I think this game, we play pretty much the same formation, that 4-3-3 with a holding mid and two number 8s. I think this game will be a cracker. I do think it's going to be. I do think there's going to be goals. I do. I don't think either defence is that dominant to not expect goals, but I also think they can be. The offensive ability of both teams is going to be fantastic. Look, we score goals. We do. Think about it. First game of the season, 2 goals against Brentford. Second game of the season, 2 goals against Man United. Third game of the season, 2 goals against Bournemouth. Fourth game of the season, 5 goals against Burnley. Obviously, last weekend, 2 goals against Arsenal. So we're averaging, across those games, at least 2 and above. I don't know exactly what it is, but you get every game, there's at least 2 goals. We know Liverpool can just erupt and score 7. They did it last season. We know they can do it. So if you're not about it at defence, they'll absolutely crucify you. That's why you've got to be so careful. There's so much pace. There's so much movement. I think of them more like a red arrows. When you look at like a Manchester City, they'll move it side to side, methodically try and pull you out of your position to then hit you into the gap where you've left. Whereas Liverpool are going to go straight into the wingers and just going to run at you. And if you're not about it, they will crucify you. So I'm really looking forward to that. I mean, they're a very good pressing team as well. Arsenal are as well. And obviously we played through Arsenal's press last weekend. So Bissouma, big one on him again this weekend with the press and so forth. Destiny Udogie at left back. Obviously with Mohamed Salah, it's going to be a difficult one for him as well. I think all their attacks are great. The back 4 and keeper are going to have to be on their game. But the midfield's going to be crucial. I think defensively, Liverpool can be got at through that midfield. There's no Fabinho, there's no dominant centre defensive mid. I think McAllister has the ability to, intercept a pass, put a foot in here and there. But he's not obviously Fabinho. Now, they are very much able to break a team down through their midfield with obviously Szoboszlai, who, by the way, I think this season, Szoboszlai could be up there with their best player of the season. I think people always look at Salah's goals or anything like that, but I actually think Szoboszlai's been absolutely fantastic. Yes, they spent a lot of money on him, but he's a brilliant player. Obviously, Gravenberch has come in. Gravenberch is, if you're not aware, basically when he was in Holland, he was basically dubbed the next big midfielder. Probably before we ever caught wind of a Bellingham or a Garvey or a Pedri. Didn't really happen at Bayern, but then again, that happens more than you often think. Renato Sanchez, the same thing. Didn't really happen at Bayern, but it can happen elsewhere. And I think Gravenberch in this system with Klopp, it will happen for him here. Hopefully not on the weekends. Just one game. I don't mind any other game. Just one game. If he fancies not playing well, I guess I'll take it. But yeah, I think this game is going to be all systems go. Very, very interesting. They also talked, the Liverpool Echo also talked around other players that have also missed time. They also said that Curtis Jones started Wednesday against Leicester City at right back. He's a central midfielder. With Joe Gomez, a newspaper, when you're talking about journalism, The grammar's incredible. But basically they said that Joe Gomez is deemed too unfit for an outing against Leicester. So he might be able to get on the bench this weekend, but I don't think you see him starting. And yeah, like I said, Thiago's out. On Spurs' situation, Ange Postecoglou says that Brennan Johnson will miss out. Nothing too serious, but he won't be right for the weekend. So maybe the following weekend, the following game he'll be fine for. Madders and Sonny trained today and they've got through it, so we'll have to see. So I think they'll play. I think it's one of those ones that it's like, lads, you're going to have to play for us. We're going to need you. And they're going to be, Maddison's going to be crucial in this game. We talk of Szoboszlai being so fantastic this season. Maddison is our Szoboszlai. He's going to have to be fantastic again. Ange also talked about Brian Hill, and he said, like you've said, he's been a bit unfortunate in that pretty much since the start of pre-season, he had a couple of injuries that haven't allowed him to train with the team. He had a good year last year away from here, and he certainly plays in a position where guys with his attributes can certainly fit into our structure. That's promising for Brian. I think that's probably why we were definitely not thinking about letting Brian go towards the end of the window. But I also think you might get a little bit Brian on the bench, knowing that Brennan's missing out. Brian might be on the bench if we need him. I don't think you would see him unless we were like 3-4-0 up and the game's over, and we might put him on for 10 minutes. But we might see him if we needed him, right? So a little bit on that. So yeah, in terms of my prediction for the game, I think, look, it's going to be a cracker. I can see it being another 2-2, if I'm honest. I genuinely do. I think there's going to be goals in this game. Don't be disheartened if we concede. We know if we conceded this season, we've always come back and done something about it. In terms of the team that will play, I think what you saw last weekend is pretty much how you're going to expect it this weekend, other than Brennan Johnson at left wing. I think you'll probably see Manor Solomon at left wing. Let's talk about the three players that we have been linked to from a Dutch club. So I have talked about Santiago Jimenez from Feyenoord. But this comes from 90-Minute Football. We've also said that alongside Santiago Jimenez, Spurs have scouts who have been watching winger Calvin Stengs, right back Luke Charel Geertruida, and forward Igor Paxal. Now, I've probably mullered at least the Paxal name, but Geertruida I think I've got, okay? So let's talk first and foremost around Calvin Stengs, because it's the first one in that name. So Calvin Stengs is a 24-year-old who, well, like I say, he plays at Feyenoord. He's a Dutch international. He's played 7 times for the Dutch international team. So definitely a prominent guy for Feyenoord, though, because when we look at it, he's already played 6 games this season. So definitely a key member in that team. Now, the interesting thing in this, I would say that the most important part of it, he plays attacking midfield, as well as a little bit of right wing. So kind of like a Maddison in that regard. Left footer, which is, I think, nice. I don't think we have enough of them, really. His contract ends in the summer of 2027. So when we look at this season for himself, he's played 6 times. He's had a belter. This is, by the way, in the Eredivisie. He's had a belter. He scored 1 goal. You're thinking, Andy, that's not a belter. 4 assists, though. 5 contributions in 6 games as an attacking midfielder. I'd say it's a belter. He's had a brilliant start this season. He has played in the Champions League as well. He's played 1, scored 1. So, yeah, in all competitions, he's played 8 times, 2 goals, 4 assists, 6 contributions. So, definitely had a really good start to the season for himself. Transfer market at the start of June valued him at around 10 million euros. I'd probably say that figure has to increase. And whenever you think of January, the market will always dictate, but the market always pretty much goes up because teams find it harder to replace a player in the middle of the season. So that's on Calvin Stengs. Let me go to Geertruida next. Geertruida is he's a right back / centre back. Okay, he had a fantastic season last year. Really did. Geertruida, he's played 4 times for the Dutch national team. His contract ends actually in the summer of 2025. So we're coming up into January of 18 months left on his contract, which might be starting to the time where Feyenoord go, look, you're going to sign a contract. If you're not, we're going to move you on. So that, so far with Geertruida, he's going to work in our favour. Transfer market towards the end of June valued him at around 25 million euros. But when we look at this season for Geertruida, played 6 times already. He's scored a goal as well, which is quite nice. He's played in the Champions League game as well as the Johan Cruyff Schal. I don't know what that is. I can't lie. Don't shoot me. If someone does know, hit me in the comment section. I know you'll tell me and I can learn, which is nice. But yeah, he goes more as a right back, but can play centre back as well, which I think in our system with, and by the way, if you've not seen this boy, quick. And I can say boy, because he's younger than me, he's 23, so I can say that because I'm older. I don't get a lot in this life, but I'm going to have that, so leave it alone. But he's very quick. Suits a really, really high line defence. Lots of pace in him. Would suit an Ange system, maybe you could say. I don't know if you agree, but maybe you could say. And then on Igor Paxal. So Igor Paxal, if you don't know about Paxal, again, like I said, plays for Feyenoord. Contract ends in the summer of 2027. So good, got a few years left on that. He is Brazilian. He is uncapped by Brazil. And on Paxal, when we look at himself, he is a winger, really. Okay, that's the best way to describe it. He's more of a winger. In the Eredivisie, he's played 6 times this season. He scored 3 times and got 2 assists, so 5 goal contributions. So obviously, Calvin and Igor, very, very important parts of that team. They score goals, they assist, they create. And those are positions that Spurs need, Now, I'm not saying we're going to get those 3 and Jimenez. I doubt Spurs would get a quad in, signing of those guys. If I had to put it down to who I think would be the most important of the 4, look, I think we need a striker. Jimenez is the striker. We need defenders. Geertruida would be a good option in defence. There's something about Calvin Stengs that I'm just getting a vibe that we want that midfielder. And I think wingers-wise, we're a little bit deeper in wingers than we are in those central midfielder areas in defence and striker. I think that's maybe where we might be looking. I don't know. You let me know. Anyway, guys, that's the end of the video. I hope you did enjoy it. Drop a like on the video if you did. Hit in the comment section below. Look, you've got the situation with Højbjerg. Let me know if you'd be happy to sell him to Man United. Obviously got the game tomorrow against Liverpool. Give me your predictions and thoughts about the games. I'm really excited to see what you guys think. I've gone 2-2. Okay, shoot me. I didn't go for the win. But if we win, I'm happy to be proved wrong. Obviously, let me know around, well, not just Santiago Jimenez, but the new 3 that we've been linked to today. I'm interested to see what you think about Stengs, Geertruida and Paxal. And yes, subscribe to the channel if you are new and hit the bell notification for more. But anyway, guys, that's the end of the video, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Take care, guys.